Welcome to an SFB Addict video. Last time we looked at my favorite Federation SFB ships. This time we're going to look at my favorite SFB Klingon ships. So to start, Starfleet Battles is a Star Trek Starship tactical combat board game sold by StarFleetGames.com. The pictures used in this video are the Mongoose 2500 miniatures, art from Adam Turner's Deviant Art page, and some general pictures from the StarFleetGames.com website. First, let's take a brief look at some of the various ships of the Klingon fleet. Shown here are the C-8 Dreadnought, D-7 Battlecruiser, E-4 and F-5 frigates, the C-7 Battlecruiser, the FD-7 Fast Cruiser, the D-5W and D-5 Warcruiser, the D-6 Cruiser, the D-17 Cruiser, the E-5, F-5W and F-6 frigates, the D-7C Command Cruiser, and the C-5 Light Dreadnought. These are not all of the ships of the Klingon fleet, but they are what are currently available in the 2500 miniatures line. Lucky for us, the four ships that we do want to talk about, the D5, D5W, two D6 variants, and the C7 are on this page, so we do have some nice images to look at. Before we get into the favorite ships, let's take a brief look at the Klingon weapons firing arcs. Klingon weapons have generous weapon arcs coverage. Their ships were designed for combat as opposed to being designed for exploration and then being refitted for war, like other races were. As such, they have very aggressive and far-reaching weapon arcs. Here we see the FX arc of the phasers at the front of the ship. They can also fire directly underneath and behind the ship, basically 360 degrees except a small section which is blocked by the warp nacelles. These are the primary fighting phasers. The weapons along the side of the hull or waist have an L and left rear, or R and right rear arc. Pictured here is the left plus left rear, and now the flip side, right and right rear. These are for defensive weapons meant to protect against chase weapons like drones and plasmas. Weapons along the side near the front edge or shoulder have a left front plus right rear arc. Other angles are blocked by the front boom of the ship and by the body of the ship itself. To reach the right rear arc, the phaser is firing underneath the ship to the rear opposite side of the ship. These are secondary fighting phasers. The disruptors have a forward half plus left or forward half plus right arc, a wide 210-degree arc, one of the widest heavy weapon arcs in the game. They can bear on a target while the ship is facing away from it. Regardless of the hull class, the Klingons try to maintain these weapons arcs for optimum fighting ability. My first favorite Klingon ship is the D5K, the ultimate extension of the D5 Warcruiser with refits. It's a Warcruiser hull meant to replace the D6 light cruisers in the line of battle production. It was built to match the Federation new light cruiser. It only takes 62% of the time to build a D5 as it would to build a D6 or a D7. The D5 and all of its variants are slightly smaller than the D6. It is armed with 4 phaser 1s, 2 with an FX arc and one on each side with a left front left plus right rear arc and its mirror right front plus right plus left rear. 4 phaser 3s, 2 in the left rear arc and 2 in the right rear arc. 2 anti-drones, which are essentially railguns, rapid fire. 2 drone launching racks. 4 disruptors, 2 of which are forward half plus left arc, and the other 2 which are forward half plus right arc. And of course it has 2 shuttles for scatter packs and other mission goals. They can arm everything and maintain a speed of 24 out of 31. At a combat point value of 114, it is directly on par with the Federation New Light Cruiser after paying for drones. While the D5L has more power, more shields, an extra tractor beam and shuttle, it is also 18 BPV more than the D5K. In a war of economic attrition, the D5K holds its own. All D5 variants have limited Aegis on their Phaser 2s and Phaser 3s. This is a rapid fire damage assessment target sensor system that allows the seeking weapon to be fired at, damaged, assessed, and a second shot fired from another weapon if need be. Next is the D5W. At 150 BPV, it was built to match the Federation new heavy cruiser. It is a D5 that has added a frigate warp nacelle and small warp core and power reactors to increase the strength of the warp field and to act as a redundant field generator and to boost power. This modular addition gives Klingon shipyards an extreme flexibility in construction. The D5W has 6 Phaser 1s, 2 more than the D5K, 2 which are FX, and 2 which are left front plus left plus right rear, and 2 mirroring that on the other side with right front, right, left rear. 2 Phaser 2s, left and left rear, and of course the mirror right and right rear. 2 Phaser 3s, 1 left rear, and 1 mirroring that with right rear. 2 880s, 2 drone racks, 4 disruptors with a forward half left, forward half right arc, and 2 shuttles for shuttle missions such as scatter packs, suicide, or administrative duties. It can arm everything and maintain a speed of 24 out of 31. The next 2 are variants of the D6-D7 hull, the D6D and the D6E. Both have scout sensor channels for electronic warfare. The D6D has 7 Phaser 2s, 3 of which are FX, and 2 which are left rear, and 2 which are right rear. 2 sensor channels for electronic warfare. 6 drone racks. 2 shuttles. At 117 BPV, the drone costs are going to be extra on top. But this ship can maintain a speed of 26 out of 31 while launching wave after wave of drones while still using its sensor channels for electronic warfare purposes. The D6D is more a long-range fire support vessel, a fleet element. Unlike other Klingon ships, the drone racks on the D6D were specially armored to be resistant to chain reactions. The D6E, or exploration ship, has 7 Phaser 2s, 3 of which are FX, 2 which are left rear, and 2 which are right rear, 2 sensor channels for electronic warfare. Unlike the D6D, the D6E keeps 2 disruptors. But unlike the aggressive arcs of the D5, the D6E disruptors are FA, or front arc. Since it kept the disruptors, there's only one drone rack, but it has kept 3 shuttles to help with its planetary exploration missions. At 112 BPV, before its refits, it is a well-rounded Swiss Army knife to deal with the unknown. Then we come to perhaps the ultimate Klingon fighting ship, the C-7. The C-7 has 10 phaser 1s, 4 in the FX arc, 2 in the LF or left front L arc, 2 in the right front right arc, and then 2 more phaser 1s in the rear, one of which is a left rear arc, and the other which is a right rear arc. It has 2 phaser 3s in the same arcs, left rear, right rear for drone defense. It has 4 disruptors with awesome front half left, front half right arcs. It has 1 anti-drone and has 4 drone racks of its own, so nearly a drone cruiser. It has 4 shuttles for plenty of scatter packs. This beast of a ship comes in at 180 BPV, and then drone costs are extra, so almost the cost of a dreadnought. It can maintain speed 21 out of 31 while arming everything. It has improved firing arcs over the D7, a double sensor rating for drone control of 12 drones, where most ships can only control 6, and it has a second UIM module to protect it from burnouts. Why the C7 over the D7W command cruiser? Even though the costs are higher at 180 versus the D7W's 155, the D7W does have lighter shields compared to the C7, and the C7 has 10 phaser 1s in comparison to the D7W's 7 phaser 1s, 4 phaser 2s. The C7's disruptor arcs of front half left, front half right are far superior to the D7W's FA disruptor arcs. In addition, there's ancillary systems on the C7, such as its damage control rating of 6 for repairs versus the D7W's damage control rating of 4. And then you have just more internal systems of pretty much every type. 7 battery versus 4 battery, the extra UIM module, and 3 extra power, all of which combine to just put the C7 in a class far above the D7W. Now most will say that the D7 Hulk light is more the true nature of the Klingon warship, but when the Klingons get fully into the war, their production switches over to the D5s, which changes the flavor of the Klingons from FA disruptor arcs to FHL, FHR disruptor arcs. And with that change of arcs, the flavor of the Klingons changes entirely. So those are my 4 favorite ships for the Klingons: the D5K, D5W, D6D, D6E, and the C7.